Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion. I'm joined by Lillian,
So
Allon, and Oronde.
Good. What up?
And we are back talking about the NBA playoffs today. So far we're just about getting into the conference semifinals. We're just about over that hump. We got two series that are done. We got two more that potentially could be done tonight. So first off, let's talk about how do we feel so far about the playoffs? What are our feelings going into round two?
Been pretty lopsided, but some games are still entertaining.
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple good series. I think there's obviously been some where it's just, sweeps happens every year, especially in the first round. But I think it's been, overall a pretty solid playoffs.
So for the most part, we've had the number one seeds of both the West and the Eastern Conference pretty much sweep. So let's just talk about those two games really quickly. We got the Celtics didn't sweep the Heat, but gentlemen sweep. They took one back, but Celtics beat the Heat 4-1. Anything in particular that you guys found pretty interesting about that game, about that series? I mean, as a Heat fan, I noticed, listen, I think the Heat need to be better when it comes to personnel. I think the passive route that Miami has been going at for 10, 15, for 4 to 10 years is just catching up to them. And you are going to need superstars to be able to win series. And right now, I think they don't have really many superstars, especially with Jimmy getting hurt, with Tay Rozier getting hurt. I mean, it was just bad thing after another bad thing. And so I think when you look at the Heat, I think that series was over as it deserved. But the standout for that Celtics team, Derek White, man, this dude was on one the entire series. And someone texted me last night and asked me a question. The question was, can Steph Curry still lead a team to the finals? And would you pick him over Jason Tatum right now?
No.
No. Why?
I mean, LeBron, KD, and Curry, I don't think at their age they can carry a team to the finals. They're gonna get their numbers, but it's just like LeBron, he dropped 30. He had a triple double, right? That's an example. He almost had a triple double in the game they lost in game 5. And it's just like it wasn't enough. See what I'm saying? And like KD's another thing. He had, I think, like 33 points in a closeout game against Minnesota. It
Yeah.
wasn't enough. Like they're gonna get theirs, but it's not like the game has changed and it's like very fast paced. So it's I don't know. I don't think you can carry a team. You got to have the right pieces around you for that to
Um,
happen. And Jason Tatum, he has the right pieces, but
But do you think
he's
he can? Do you think he can carry a team?
who Tatum?
Yeah,
I think he can.
because
I don't agree
here's
with
what's
because
that.
my
I
thing is,
don't
go ahead.
I don't think there's anybody in the NBA right now, especially with the state of the NBA, that can carry a team to a championship.
Uh,
There's no single player right now that's gonna be the lone star on their team, maybe have another star next to them and win a ring.
Golden State won it last year, right?
Golden State won it 2 years ago, and even
Who
then,
won last year? I'm sorry,
last year was the Nuggets.
Denver.
Nuggets.
Denver.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's with Jokic, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter. Like that was a good team. The teams that win rings now are well-rounded teams with solid role players.
Yeah.
There's not a single player that's gonna go up against the teams we have now by themselves. So if I'm one more thing, if
Yeah.
I'm building a team around somebody, you can build a team around Tatum and win a ring. You can build a team around Steph win a ring. You just have to build a team around them.
Yeah.
Really that simple.
Yeah, and you make a valid point. I think okay, so this is 2 years outdated, but I think if you look 2 years ago at Steph Curry leading that team I think that was him leading his team to the finals and winning the finals. I think that's probably the last example of a superstar going, because what, he had Draymond and a bunch of role players. Clay wasn't the Clay of old, and it just was what it was. And I think you look at that series, you have to give it all to Steph.
Now Wiggins, he could have made a case
Wiggins
for
made
finals
Tatum's
MVP.
life.
Wiggins
Was a big
played well.
thing.
I'm
He hooped
thinking
that
more
series.
of like the scoring perspective. Like Wiggins wasn't dropping 30.
He was dropping over 20 plus a game.
Yeah, I
I can
mean,
tell you that right
yeah. I
now.
mean,
Every game.
role players need to at that point. But anyway, gonna go back to the playoffs. I think when you look at the Celtics right now, they are number one in the East. They will play either the Magic or the Cavs. That game is on right now. I don't know what the score is.
I got you. It's Cavs are up 66-65.
Okay, I mean it's gonna be a close one going into the fourth quarter. The Pacers beat the Bucks 4-2. I think when you look at the Bucks, they were without their two star players, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and then
Forget that the
got
Pacers
hurt
had their
after
number the whole season.
huh?
There's no excuses for the Bucks. The Pacers owned them the whole season.
Yeah, well I'd say the Bucks, for one, when they hired Doc Rivers, they should have just gone ahead and threw their chances of winning the finals in the trash. I think that was problem number one. Problem number two, Giannis being out with that calf. Problem number three is Dame went off after dropping 38 points or whatever it was in game one, in a game one win. And so, I mean, the Pacers got the job done after that and won it 4-2 handedly. And then last night, the Knicks as well. Knicks packed up the 76ers 4-2. In my opinion, when I look at it, I think the one team right now that can contend with the Celtics, it is the Knicks. I think the Knicks are one of the best team in the NBA, and I'm excited to watch them, man. I truly am excited to see if they can beat Indiana, if they can contest the Celtics and going into the conference final. So, I mean, we look at this. Let's talk about the East real quick. What are y'all noticing about the East?
I mean, it is outside of the one Celtics series, it's sort of been dogfights.
Yeah, but a little bit more competitive.
It's more competitive because they're trash.
Okay. Forget the lack of powerhouses. Well, outside of the Celtics, if you can call them that,
Yeah.
it's still a lot closer competition than the West.
I mean, I'm still curious to see what are the Celtics going to look like in the second round without Porzingis.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
out.
He's
out.
looking to be out for the second round. Yeah.
But they're not
That's
playing.
he
Like,
has the
let's be.
same injury that Giannis has.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
here's the thing. Let's say the Magic come out on top. The Magic have terrible shooting and their offense is abysmal, but that's one of the best defenses in the league. Granted, if Derek White can drop 40 in the playoffs,
You got to
it's
be able to
good
score.
issue for the Celtics.
You still got to be able to score.
I mean, I think my thing is that when you look at that the Cavaliers and the Magic, like, I don't think either of those two teams are
No, I still think the
gonna do
Celtics
much of
come out
anything.
on
I
top.
think they'll get packed up in 5 or 6, if that. I think the Celtics have pretty much punched their ticket into the conference finals, and it's just a matter of who's going to play better, the Knicks or the Pacers. I think when the Pacers get into the Knicks place, it's going to be them drowning. I think the Knicks, when you go up to New York, it's a different breed of place. So, I mean, I like the Knicks. I like the Celtics in the conference finals. I think for the most part, it's been a pretty fun series for the Knicks. The Knicks, I mean, Dante Devin, them going to pick up DiVincenzo, Brunson, and Josh Hart were 3 of the biggest moves this offseason, if you look at it. I think they should do everything in their power to trade Julius Randle when the season opens next year. Because if they keep him on that team, he will hold them back in so many ways. And so, in my opinion, I think they should get rid of Julius Randle and go ahead and get anybody else. Anybody else.
Where do you think he should go?
I could care less where he goes. I just think he is the problem for that team, personally.
That's messed up, man. He's good.
Stop it.
Who's
What?
the problem?
I just don't like Julius
Yeah,
Randle.
Julius
I don't think he's
Randle.
productive enough for that.
Randle.
He's not.
He's not productive. That's crazy.
I mean,
Because you look at
to
it.
be
Listen, okay,
honest, I haven't even I've been loosely keeping up with that series. It's if he's the problem, then why haven't I heard anything?
well, he's
bad
out. He's
about
out
it?
right now. He's out right now.
Okay. So
So my
then-
thing is,
but no one's
that
saying that they want to get rid of him, but also no one's saying that they necessarily miss him. He's just there.
no, yeah, no. I'm just saying for next year, like they need to get him out of there because that coach, like when he's on the court, he's gonna demand the ball and he's not gonna play a lick of defense, and it's just gonna be it's problematic. I mean, that
There's a
team
lot
right
of
now is
players
very
like that.
defensive heavy, huh?
There's a lot of players like that.
I mean,
Yeah, I understand that,
Top
but
players, I should say.
but New York is a New York. Tom Thibodeau is not the type of coach who's going to allow those players to be on his team. So I think if he's smart, he gets Julius Randle out of there early. But regardless, anyway, I mean, I I like the Knicks. I like the Celtics in those next two series, regardless of whoever the Celtics play. Let's look over to the Western Conference. Um, Thunder beat the Pacers. Pelicans 4-0. I mean, was that a shock to us or no? I think
Once Zion was out, that's what I
yeah,
expected.
yeah. Okay.
Zion, yeah, I was hoping for more, but Zion being out really did it.
I mean, really, what I had hoped was the Pelicans maybe still won because maybe CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram decide they don't want to shoot 10%, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
Somebody had 0 the other night. That was like shouldn't have had 0. Who was it?
Tobias Harris.
It's
Not
always
him.
Tobias Harris.
But it was somebody else in a different series.
Oh. Mm.
Who just?
Oh no, it was
Oh.
D'Lo. D'Lo had 0 at one
Yeah,
point.
Oh yeah, that's
horrible.
right.
Dude, it was horrible.
We're gonna get to that. Actually, matter of fact, let's fast forward right there, right now. So Nuggets beat the Lakers 4-1. Today the Lakers came out. Darvin Ham is gone. His entire coaching
Yeah.
staff is gone. A lot has happened since they lost 4-1. It wasn't an easy 4-1 like it wasn't last year. 2 buzzer beaters to win against the Lakers. Allon, you being our residential LeBron fan, what happens with LeBron now, and how do you feel after this series?
I mean, I don't feel nothing. I mean, I still feel like he the GOAT. That's my opinion. I'm not gonna get into that. But I mean, his legacy is cemented, and then I really don't care, honestly. I mean, with the whole series, I mean, I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. He can retire tomorrow.
Do you think he comes
And
back?
then with Darvin Ham,
Oh, go ahead.
he might not. I don't know. We'll see. But with Darvin Ham getting fired, I don't think he should have got fired. I mean,
What?
like their role players. No, I don't think he should have got fired. Like last
That's
year, they were
crazy.
no. Like, dude, D'Lo did not show up.
Absolutely.
Austin Reeves, they were like up and down. Rui
Absolutely.
Hachimura, he was up and down. That's not his fault at
But
all. I don't think that was his
but
fault.
Braun was
I
so
mean,
frustrated with him the whole series.
here's
And
what
he is the GM. You can't have a coach that goes against Braun.
I mean, LeBron just wants to. I mean, I'm a LeBron fan, but I think sometimes he just wants his way, and he should just let the coach.
It's a little too late for that. He's already organized a roster to suit him, and it didn't work again.
Yeah.
this is sort of it's been a thing with the Lakers ever since they won that ring. The scapegoat is always the coach or Russell
Mhm.
Westbrook or
Yeah.
D'Angelo Russell. There's always a scapegoat.
Nah,
The
but D'Lo 0 points.
Ever since that bubble ring, the roster has been atrocious. It's just been poor roster building. It doesn't matter if you put Pop at coach or Spoelstra at coach. They can't do anything with that roster because
their roster wasn't
the
that
roster's
bad.
abysmal.
I don't think their roster was
bad.
that bad. I think their play was questionable, yes, but I also think that comes from coaching. I think firing Darvin Ham was like the right decision.
I
I just
agree.
think at this point, I mean, he couldn't get it done, and I think the team is over watching him. D'Lo being out of the huddle, LeBron being frustrated on and off the court. I mean, I think it was obvious that he wasn't going to be back next season.
Yeah, he lost the locker room. And there were lots of times where a team go on a 25 run and he just be standing there, hands in his pockets, watching.
Yeah.
And he definitely had flaws, and he wasn't a very good coach. But there were also so many issues with this Lakers team that get overlooked every season. And
It was just
and the media
second
tends
season
to
as a
blame it on
coach.
one specific person.
My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. It
No,
was
you-
his second season as a coach, and I mean his first year they made it to the conference finals, and they were a playing team. And then this year, at the beginning of the season, they won that end season tournament. And then I don't think he should have got fired. That's just my opinion. I don't know. Like I said, it's the roster, but the West is heavy. There was 10 teams over 500, so I don't know.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, if LeBron ends up deciding he wants to stay with the Lakers and he picks up that player option, I think really what they do, they go get a coach that LeBron wants. He's gonna have
JJ.
And
to
they,
somebody. It's probably gonna be JJ Redick. Honestly,
Yeah.
he doesn't
I,
take
I,
the shot.
no, that I don't want that to happen. They
Why?
I
just
don't.
keep the
I think it's a
podcast.
terrible idea because I
Yeah.
don't think you want a guy being buddy buddy with the player.
Nah.
No, I think
That
the idea
relationship
is
isn't a coach player relationship.
I think the idea is stupid, but if they want to keep LeBron in LA, I think that's the only way they keep LeBron in LA.
That's true.
I think it's stupid because, like, what if things don't work out? They don't make it to the playoffs and they don't make it to the conference finals or whatever, and they put it on. It's going to be on LeBron and JJ Redick because that's just a stupid idea.
And they're gonna have to go out this offseason and really find the pieces that are really gonna work.
Yeah,
LeBron can't go out, play defense, and score 30 every single night. So it's gonna be a hassle for them to figure out what
I
works
did
for the
tell you
team.
though. I told you the games were close. They lost by possessions, literally.
Absolutely.
Like,
No,
They were
absolutely.
super close. I mean, Jamal Murray had to hit 2 game winners this
Yeah.
series. Though I'll say this, and obviously historically, LeBron's an all-time great defender. He's been amazing at defense. This series specifically, there was a significant lack of effort on defense from LeBron. And I think that's
Yeah.
related to his age more than anything.
It's
I,
just
and
age.
I feel like he was
These
also
guys-
kind of discouraged. He looked like he was just
yeah,
not,
I
Yeah.
think
not
I
with the
think
team.
by the time they got to this series, he's just sort of been out of it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, especially
whether or
after
not,
losing to that buzzer beater, was it game 2? It was.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's
whether or
gonna
not
take
that
the
also
morale
maybe
off the
has
team.
something to do with his relationship with Darvin Ham. He
Yeah.
was out of it this series and his defense wasn't there. And in close games like there were in this series, you gotta have the defense, especially in the playoffs.
And
So, like I
with
said,
Pittsburgh,
it's a lot
was
of with this team.
with the game that D'Lo scored 0. That was in LA, right?
That was another D'Lo was another issue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so
He
many
shows up. I mean, this series could have went 6 or 7.
could have gone 6 or 7 if D'Lo shows up.
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah,
if
that's could have that didn't happen. So
AD doesn't
It's-
get hurt, game 5, somehow getting his shoulder brushed.
they needed
Then
more size
Steph-
too because Jackson Hayes trash. I was watching his game. He's horrible.
I mean, yeah, that's another no backup big. It's so many issues in LA, but that's besides the point.
People have been calling for Dwight Howard, Well, he's
I
been
mean,
calling
realistically, I don't think there was any way the Lakers win the series against the healthy Nuggets.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
But,
Let's jump to the sweep that, not many of us really expected, but the Timberwolves sweep the Phoenix Suns. You got the big three in Phoenix with KD, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker.
We gotta stop calling that a big three, man.
It
I mean,
was
but
never a big
from a
three.
team perspective, that's what it is. Who's the biggest letdown here?
It's Bradley Beal, and it's
Beal.
not close. Beal was atrocious.
Yeah.
Straight up. I mean, he fouled out of game 4 after putting up a terrible shooting performance.
yeah,
And it was a frustration foul too. He didn't show up all series. Granted, Booker and KD had a couple off games, but they at least showed up in game 4. And Beal damn well can't come out after game 3 say, well, I've never been swept and I'll be damned if I do, and then go out and do that in game 4.
I don't know, man. That Bill doesn't really have that much. I mean, he's been in the playoffs, but he hasn't really made that much deep runs in the playoffs. So
Absolutely
Beal's
not.
been in the playoffs.
that could play a factor in it.
I don't think he's been. I think this was his first time in the playoffs since John Wall was in his prime.
Now he went with Westbrook.
Oh, he went with Westbrook. That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
But that was like how many years ago? Like 3-4 years ago.
I mean, that was
a while
3 years
ago.
ago. Like straight up, it was not. Bradley Beal is not a playoff player.
But I think we know what the main
Well,
thing was.
the
I mean, I think
problem was they didn't have a point guard, and
No,
Bradley
they
Beal is not a point guard, and
No.
Devin Booker is not a point guard. That was the problem, and they had no depth either.
I was going to say
They had
that's
no
the main
defense.
thing. Like we knew that day one at the beginning of the season they had no depth, and it became what it was.
And I'll say, and aside from the fact that they didn't have a point guard, I think the biggest letdown from the front office was hiring a defensive coach and not giving him defenders.
Yeah.
Their
Yep.
best,
And he's gonna lose his job.
which it's funny because KD led in blocks per game, but on offense, KD led in points per game and field goal percentage for the season.
I mean, KD in his prime was a great defender. He's a solid defender now, just because he's
Yeah.
gotten lower and the
You said he was a great.
Achilles
You said he was a good defender
he was
in
a
his
good
prime.
defender in his prime.
He was solid.
And for the postseason, KD led with the blocks per game, and Booker surprisingly led with the most steals.
I mean,
it
guards are
wasn't
going to get
enough.
steals.
It wasn't enough.
Well, yeah, because Yusuf Nurkic is not a defensive big.
He's an offensive big if anything.
He's a
a
joke. That's
rebounding
what he
big.
is. He's a joke.
He is a rebounding big. That's for certain. But he does
He
not
barely
show
does
up on
that.
the defensive of the ball.
Yeah,
Barely
he's a
does that. He
rebounder.
averaged
He's like 10
He
points at
averaged
the
damn
most.
near 8.5 for the postseason.
But I mean, it was a lack of a true interior defender and any real perimeter defense. It just was a bad defensive team and no point guard. So you have Kevin Durant standing in the corner. I mean, I don't know what they expected to come out of this, because I think it's become so clear when you look at the teams that have won rings recently, you can't just put together 3 good scores and send them out and say, go win a ring.
I think it's hilarious that probably the most tenacious defender was Grayson Allen, and he's hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hurt right now. Yeah, but I think even with Grayson, he added depth to that team and like shooting. Really, he shot really well towards the end of the season. And when he went down, I think that was the end of their.
I think that was the nail in the coffin, honestly.
Oh shit.
I mean,
So-
honestly, it sort of got to the point where, like, in game 4, you're down 3-0. The clear issue is you don't have a point guard. Why not just say, fuck it and start Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah.
Like,
I
what
never
difference does it make that?
understand why teams will lead him on when he could help them, and then they do nothing and then lose, and
Yeah,
everybody's
that's,
like,
that pissed me off right there because like he could still hoop.
I mean, he's at the very least going to get you a couple buckets and some assists. That's more than, fucking like PJ Tucker is going to give you.
Yeah.
And it's not like PJ Tucker is a good defender anymore.
Or scores.
Damn near 40.
Old ass.
So we look at the last series that's still going on. Mavericks lead 3-2, playing tonight against the Clippers. Do we think it's over tonight?
It should be, hopefully.
Who's the
I
home
wanted
team?
to
I don't even know who that. Who's 4? So Clippers are away.
it'll be Clippers. It'll be
All right,
Clippers.
Mavs are home. Yeah, I
Oh.
think it might end tonight.
Oh, Mavericks are home. Okay.
Yeah,
Mavs are
'cause
home. Kawhi's still out.
It's game 6. That's right.
Westbrook has been abysmal.
there's a reason he's on my hate list.
Games 2 through 5 for him have just been terrible. James Harden returned back to his playoff self. Even though Luka's shooting, I think 23% from 3 this series, it doesn't matter.
He's taking a lot of shots.
He's taking a lot of shots. He's still scoring though. So I mean, if it gets the job done.
I mean, he has to do that, honestly. Him and Kyrie. Because I mean, Kyrie's way more efficient, but like they have to do that. They gotta
He's like scoring at will too. It's like pissing me
Yeah.
off at this point.
because who else on the Mavericks is gonna? I mean, who do they play in the second round?
They'll play the Thunder.
Thunder.
And that's gonna be a tough matchup for them.
That will be a tough matchup, but it can go in their favor because it's. I mean, the OKC they don't have that much experience, but
I
we'll
think
see.
I think that's gonna lead OKC. So let's say the Mavericks win it tonight. I think it's gonna be I think I'm gonna put my money on the Thunder making it to the conference final.
I'll take
I think. Hey, listen. The Minnesota Timberwolves they beat Denver. They might win it all, man.
No, I think the winner
Oh,
of
no,
that
I agree with
series,
that.
the winner of
No,
the
winner,
Oh.
whoever beats Denver wins. But
I think the
know,
winner of that Timberwolves and Nuggets series wins or goes to the finals. Plain and simple.
because I'm scared with Porzingis not coming back. Like I want Jason Tatum to get his ring, but if Minnesota, if Ant-Man finds a way to beat Denver,
I think
and
I think he's finals bound if they beat Denver.
yeah, I think that he might be the new face.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think the Timberwolves are the one team that is like, I don't, because I don't think it was intentional. That's built to beat the Nuggets.
I agree.
You got a defensive center. You've got a
Mhm.
great defensive wing in Jaden McDaniels that can actually contest a Michael Porter shot. You've got Anthony Edwards, and there's not a person on the Nuggets that's going to stop him. KCP could slow him down, but nobody's going to stop him. Cat's a great
Like
stretch for. Conley's an amazing point guard. Like this is a good Timberwolves team that matches up really well.
it's asking a lot too. If they're switching like Jamal Murray or Reggie Jackson, like say if KCP is not guarding them, it's asking a lot because they got beat up a little bit in that first round. Like they're not gonna be able to do nothing with Anthony Edwards. He's gonna go for them legs, not as like injuring him, but like
I mean,
he's
they
gonna
can't be
get at him.
expecting 0 points from Conley or Edwards like they did from D'Lo.
Yeah,
The guards in Minnesota are going to attack them.
and they're yeah, like you said, they're really good defensively. They got one of the best defensive teams in the league.
I mean, it's one of the best defenses I've seen in the NBA in a while.
Ant-Man, he locks up too. Like
Hey,
he plays.
Nickeil Alexander-Walker has been a crucial part of that team.
I'm excited for that series to kick off. They play Saturday.
Yep.
This Saturday, tomorrow?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
tomorrow.
Oh, they start tomorrow night. Oh, bet. So that's gonna be great. That's gonna be a good game on Saturday night. So as we begin to wrap up, finals predictions right now.
If like I said, if it's either Denver or Minnesota, and the East is either New York or Boston. That's what I'm. I don't know. I really don't have a team. It's it's in the air for me.
Yeah.
Denver, Boston.
I'm going Boston. I love Nikola Jokic. I think Edwards is gonna have a problem with everybody loving Nikola Jokic. So I'm gonna go the Nuggets to win that series and go to the finals. So
I'm gonna go with the Wolves over the Celtics.
all right. Well, appreciate you guys for listening. Let us know how you feel about that. Let us know what you think is gonna happen in the finals, or in the next round, and let us know how you felt about the first round. I've been your host, Davion. That's been Lillian, Oronde, and Allon. This has been the post game. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.